12:02 now, local time, East Coast time, right into your lunchtime. Hello, everybody. Joe Pannone here. How's everyone? I hope everybody's winter is going well. Weather's been very nice. I'm very, very honored and happy and excited to have Dave Sobel today as our guest, and I think it's going to be a great conversation. CWDash and about ConnectWise and all the great things that are happening there. People are starting to pour in now, and I think I will begin. So it's our January workshop. We plan on having monthly ones, and first of the year in 2020. Our agenda today, again, if there's any questions, please just ask. And very informal here. This is, we provided some information here, and I hope it'll be a good time, but stop anytime if you have a question or want to go in a different direction. The agenda has us talking about, what our mission is, of course, help MSPs grow, and what our story is, CWDash, and of course, Dave Sobel's here, MSP Radio. Fantastic. You've got to listen to it. It gives, Dave will get into it, but it's excellent. I just listened to yesterday's about an hour ago. He puts 5 minutes every day. Our mission, of course, is to help MSPs grow. That's it, providing great tools and other solutions. That is our mission. I want a special thanks to our sponsors. As you all know, maybe you don't know, the software is free and it's paid for by these great sponsors. And we have some more. It needs to be updated, but if you're already looking at them, continue to dive deeper perhaps and look at some of the others, but we've got great sponsors. So if you indulge me, some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. I promise not to waste your time, but I think it's a good use of kind of framing the story. And I started my MSP here in New Haven, Connecticut in 1993 after I graduated. Started in my father's garage. I went to work help desk for a year to, raise some capital. And then right in my father's garage I started. We were a, MSP and app dev firm. Of course, we weren't called that back then, but that's what we did. And then, of course, some 6 years later, we had the great Y2K. What should be a poll question, Dave? What was everybody's experience?
How'd you get started in all this? Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. So, everybody thought their computer was going to die when that ball dropped there in Times Square. We acquired companies, we tripled in size. It was an exciting time. And then in 2007 is when we got ConnectWise and Kaseya. And back then, ConnectWise was actually recommending Kaseya and using it themselves. Can you imagine? Today, they're fierce competitors, of course. But we got those two platforms. Pretty sure I was recommended Kaseya by Gary Pica and True Methods. But we got them and changed the way we did business, of course. We were automating everything. Everything was, before that, were our own systems. But within months, my management came to me and said, look, if we're going to do this right, if we're going to make these platforms work and help us with our business and really run our operations, we need better business intelligence. We need better dashboarding. And even to this day, you could make the same argument that you still need it. So it was a hole that we saw. So we created some dashboards internally. I inadvertently showed my peer group. I don't know how many of you are in a peer group. It's another great poll question, by the way. That's where Dave and I met at HTG, which is now, of course, IT Nation Evolve. I inadvertently showed them these dashboards we used internally. They convinced me. They said, we want to beta test this. Why don't you bring this to market? They tested it. 2010, we released a product called CWDash, which we're all familiar with. CW for ConnectWise, Dash for Dashboard. 2010 is a subscription-based model, did very well for 5 years. It was in 2015 where vendors asked us to advertise in it. The vendors that we work on the MSP side said, look, we see what you're doing here. It's a zero-waste audience. Whoever's ever using ConnectWise as an MSP, your product only works with ConnectWise, let us advertise in it. So we changed the model to free. And by the end of 2018, we were at 3,000 MSPs using the one or both products. And then a year from now, a year ago, first quarter of 2019, I merged the MSP portion of Forza with Logically out of Portland, Maine, which is a big MSP. They're doing a lot of acquisition. I do a little bit of business development for them, but most of my time is on CWDash, and we are now over 6,000 MSPs worldwide using our application for ConnectWise or for Kaseya, mostly ConnectWise. CWDash is about 96%, and then 20,000 prospects. So just kind of the story of where we were and where we are now. How we got there, really by accident. We had this great community of MSPs, 6,000 plus, and then we have these great sponsors. Of course, the dirty little secret is, we make more money giving it away than we ever did selling it. So as we go on the story, with our current free applications, one's for ConnectWise, one's for Kaseya. Like I mentioned, out of the usage pie, 96% are ConnectWise. There's a hybrid of about 13% that use both. A little information there about ConnectWise. We're coming up on the year anniversary of their acquisition of Thoma Bravo. It was last February, I believe, 1.5 billion. And then, of course, Kaseya, very big news of Kaseya today, how they're evaluated at $2 billion. When I guess I got to update this. This is 1.75 billion. By the way, this deck and this entire presentation will be up on our website. Our community, again, some of you are part of it, 6,000 MSPs plus. We get about 100 new a month to come on. We've got over 20,000 prospects that we market to and provide great information for. And which brings us to our first poll. Are you currently using CWDash? You should see that now available. Just kind of want to get a way of feeling, the audience of who's actually using it now and who's not. Appreciate the quick responses. Whether you're on-prem or you're cloud, it doesn't really matter. But who's currently using it? And I'm getting 80% are not using it. Very good. 20% are. Excellent. So if you are ConnectWise Cloud or hosted, there is a product that's needed in order for CWDash to work. It's called Cloud Data Access. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not. It used to be called Cloud Connect. We don't go through the API. I'll explain in a moment. It's a Windows application. So if you are on their cloud, you need Cloud Data Access. Some of the account managers aren't familiar with the product, but it does allow you to back up your own data, see your own data. So a lot of the partners, actually it's already included in a lot of the packages that they have for if you are on cloud, but Cloud Data Access is needed if you are on their cloud. Just throw that out there. I'll be happy to answer any more questions about that. So the pain points, of ConnectWise Manage. It needs real-time, business intelligence and dashboarding. There are some that are built in. This product is external. The difference between, of course, dashboarding and reporting is once the report is printed, it's dated, it's dead. How do you currently manage? How do you currently measure the technical performance, sales, hours worked, your SLA, your ticket load, etc.? How are you doing quarterly business reviews and, getting all the data up for if you're doing quarterly reviews or monthly reviews, whatever rhythm that you have? How are you collecting that data? CWDash has a great way of doing that. The product is, as you saw before, was released in 2010. Of course, it was before that we had it going. So it's, 11 or 12 years old now. So it's very mature, with great MSPs that are using it. It's quick, it's easy to install. It's a Windows application, doesn't interrupt your flow. Here's the biggest thing. It doesn't download any of your data. There's some competitors out there that, have web-based products. They have to get your data, bring it up to their cloud, and then show it to you. Ours does not do that. It's installed locally. The only thing it's going to the cloud for is to get the advertising, to get the ads, but we do not know any of your data. That's one of the biggest differentiator, and it's truly real time. It makes calls to your database, returns it, and shows you right then. It's not kind of consuming all your data once or twice a day, then showing it to you. It's real time and doesn't take any of your data. Those are the big differentiators with our product, and very popular reasons why the MSPs use it. 75 dashboards, we call them panels, that are there. It's free. I encourage you, 82% of you that aren't using to take a look. It's customizable, very little training is needed. We have hundreds of videos up on our site that show how to install, what the different panels do, a lot of rich content. Again, the cloud version is there. You need that one product. And again, it's free. We're not trying to upsell you. We make more money if you don't pay for it. There's a hard time sometimes with the MSPs getting over that. If you don't like the ads, if you think they're intrusive, we can, we'll sell it to you. But again, we're not trying to upsell you. We want you to use it. The more you use it, the more money we make. So, we want you to use it. It forces us to make better product, to better help the MSP and go along with our mission of helping MSPs grow. So our second poll is on, if you're using any other BI tools. There's some really popular ones out there, of course. You should see the poll now. BrightGauge is actually kind of swallowed into ConnectWise since the Continuum acquisition announced at IT Nation there in November. A lot of the MSPs use BrightGauge. It's multi-sourced where it can get data from QuickBooks and other things. Ours is purely a ConnectWise managed sourced product. Some are using PCFO, excellent tool. I know Larry very well. Some of you aren't using any. And then I have an other, which is at about 9%. So nobody's using Cognition, which we see now occasionally, but 36% of you are using BrightGauge. Again, a great product, very different product, but yep, now ConnectWise owns. Very interesting. Thank you for your responses. So here's what the app looks like. You're going to go to CWDash. You're going to click on Try It. There's going to be a quick survey that you're going to complete. Then you're going to get the application, and it's going to install on any Windows device. The MSP, since it's free, they get a license key. You just get that license key, install it on any device, on large monitors that has a workstation set up to it, on laptops, wherever there's a Windows device. And there's dashboards. There's so many dashboards for dispatch, operations, management, sales, finance. When I go to MSPs, I see, in the NOC area, they'll have ticket-related dashboards up. And when I go to the sales, I'll see that they have, sales funnel and activities and dashboards pertaining to those items. So it's there. That's what it looks like. Here's, you choose what you want. You see the dashboard. You select the dashboard, the service boards that you want to see. But that's generally the flow, how it works. You can export everything to Excel. You can sort. There's videos on everything. That's some of the dispatch panels that are right there. I'd be happy to walk through it a little bit if you'd like. Nobody's asked any questions yet, so please feel free if you have any questions. And that's generally what it looks like. The top panels used. We know what the top are used because we send ads to them. The most popular is open tickets by service board. How many tickets by each service board are open? A lot of times I walk with MSPs through it. Once they install it, we set up a meeting. My schedule gets sent out in an email automatically. Love to walk you through it. And, there's, 40 or 50 open tickets in the triage board, for example. And, that's obviously, a red light. You want to close those down. But how many non-closed tickets per service board? How many tickets by age? Tickets that, that are a week old, that are 2 weeks old, that are a month old, that are 3 months old, or is the second. Then open tickets by company. We had a measurement in our office. It was, for us, it was 5. Once there was more than 5 tickets open, dispatch got on with the technician, found out what the reason is. We had certain triggers that happened. Open tickets by each company. Company A has X, etc. Timesheet by day, a huge, I know almost every, I'm surprised it's not first. You know, does anybody here have an issue with their technicians putting in their time in a timely manner? You know, and that's a silly question. I can sense the smirks on all your faces right now. And this shows real time, the time that they put in. And I'll never forget, this is about 3 years old now. We had it up on a large monitor. We put it up timesheet by day. And I just kind of had my ear out there, you know, and I was listening. And it was like the second day. And I'll never forget, I overheard one technician say to another, "Hey, looks like you only worked 20 minutes yesterday. That's because I had to do the rest of your work." You know, so showing the real time for each MSP, it's now noon Eastern time. So do all your technicians have 4 hours in already? Is it in there? With this, you can tell. You know, once it's seen there, it kind of gamifies it. It raises the bar of accountability. It only helps. It helps, of course, you, the owners, or the department heads. It helps the technicians, and ultimately, of course, most importantly, helps the clients. Open tickets by status. You know, there's a lot of, you know, we had a lot of great statuses, done yet, you know, waiting for customer, waiting for parts, you know, how many tickets are open by each of the different statuses, status I, very popular. Hours worked by each member. The idea is there, it's, you know, it's the 16th today of January, so it's half the month's gone by. How many hours for the complete month have been put in by agreement, by client? Tickets not acknowledged is the big one. It's what tickets haven't been touched in 48 hours. This was completely created by one of the MSPs. So was Timesheet by the Day, by the way, where there's an idea button where you can click on it and submit an idea. And they would come in on Monday, and, you know, the whole weekend would happen, and all these tickets would be created by the RMM or by backup or by some other sources. And the question is, how many tickets haven't been touched? It's Tuesday now. These tickets have not even been seen, not even been looked at. And so there's a whole list of those tickets in one dashboard. You can see how beneficial that could be. Tickets not acknowledged is a great one. Today's Thursday. If you opened it and saw that there was 10 tickets not acknowledged, what would you do? You know, you'd certainly act upon that. At least there may even be false positives, and that's fine. You can close them, but at least look at them and click on it and make your change, assign resources, etc. Client and member review. We talked about this before. If you're having, we used to have quarterly meetings, QBRs. I see sometimes technology business reviews. There's all kind of different acronyms. But it used to take us a half day to a day to prepare for a QBR. You have to go to ConnectWise, print out all these reports and export them, and go to these different sources. Now you simply select the client, select the date range. You choose what you want there, you click OK, and it exports everything to Excel. In less than a minute, you have all average resolution time, closed tickets, etc., all dumped into Excel. And at that point, you can make your changes, you can make your enhancements, do whatever you want, but it does all that dirty work. We also have member review. The natural progression from a client review was a member review. I'll never forget, I once had a technician say to me, "Hey boss, I closed 1,000 tickets last month. Can I have a bonus?" I don't know if any of you have ever had that happen. So, you know, we did this, went through, and he certainly did a great job, but there was a lot of false positives in there, right? And so, you know, we were able to kind of see it a little bit. So it's the same thing. You choose the member, you choose the review. If you're doing biannual reviews with your technicians or with anyone else, you could see anything that they've touched, they were assigned to in ConnectWise Manage in this as well. So huge offering here for clients and for members or technicians. Poll number 3. Do you have any questions? Only leads me to think I'm either wowing everyone or boring everyone. I hope it's not the latter, of course. Should we continue to use offer it for free? I've been asking the same question. Most MSPs enjoy it. They enjoy the relationship with the, because we vet the sponsors out, and should it be offered for free? We do have some that kind of talk about it and say, I'd prefer to pay for it. They never do, but they do ask for it. But, the vendors are the one who created this. They're the ones who asked us, hey, can we advertise? We want to be in front of these MSPs. So they're the ones who created it. I just have been asking this question. I just thought I'd continue to ask it. And, as per usual, most are saying yes. Very unique model. I wish we could take credit, my team and I, but again, we were kind of mistakenly put into it. So widgets, here's another great option where you're asked 4 questions. And, the last question is give it a name, where you ask the status, you ask the service, you select the service panels, you choose the color coding. If it's 1 to 5, it'll be green, for example, yellow or red, and how many tickets are enter time that need time entered. So you can make all of these widgets and put them all throughout the monitor. Done yet is a great status that my service manager particularly liked. The ticket's been hanging around for too long. Is it done yet? She would change it to, and then, the technician would see it and make their changes. But these widgets are just little quick questions that you could answer, set up in 4 quick, questions, and then show the widgets. So the 4th poll, there's only a couple more left. Thanks for that. For the other one, everybody said yes, by the way, on should it be free. And here's, it's been a year now. Well, almost a year. Next month will be a year since the acquisition of ConnectWise. I don't know how many of you were at IT Nation. I haven't missed one of those since 2007. I saw Dave there, of course. I asked this last year. The weeks after it happened, what do you think about the ConnectWise acquisition? This is actually on Continuum, right? Where they acquired a Continuum. I think I might have got these mixed up. But what do you think about that Continuum acquisition? Got a lot of great answers here. Some say great, 27%. Help. Some just say okay, and there's the majority are the wait and see. Nobody says bad, but yeah, that was I can't say there was a big shock, the Continuum notice. I think a lot of us kind of saw it a little bit, but thanks for your answers there. And so now I'd like to introduce. I don't know how many of you know Dave Sobel. I've known him for a very long time. He's got great insight. He's been an MSP like me, and I'll let him take over. He's got a couple slides here. And Dave, welcome. Good afternoon.
Thanks for having me, John. I'm going to turn on the video to talk to everybody so you can see my smiling face. We have known one another. We feel like we're getting to be real vets around here because it's we met during both running the MSPs and being involved in this technology space. I ran an MSP for a decade. Which is when Joe and I got to know one another really well during the HTG days, now IT Nation evolved. I sold that business and hopped over onto the vendor side. So after being a ConnectWise, Kaseya, level platforms user on a bunch of different stuff, went over to the vendor side for the past 8 years and helped grow those 2 businesses. So I grew a couple of vendors and helped sell them. So I've actually been a channel chief, won awards on that side, as well as doing a ton through the community. And I've left those to actually do commentary and provide some insight to you as solution providers, because I look at this and say, you don't really have an analyst that works for you. Well, now you do. So today, what I want to dive in on, and Joe, we'll flip to the next slide. I want to talk a little bit about what's happening with these ownership models on the major channel providers and what they mean for you. So I'm going to give a little bit of insight over the next 5 minutes. Joe, next slide. Let's start by understanding financing. Take a quick step back and look at this chart. Now, this comes straight from Wikipedia. This is generic analysis on financing for startup companies. Most of us, particularly as MSPs or solution providers, live over there on the left-hand side of the chart. We're founders and owners and have built our own businesses and come at it from that perspective. Over time, as you grow your business and decide you want to get external financing, you'll go through a very predictable set of growth. You'll first find people that can accelerate you, either getting seed capital, looking for angel investors, people that come in and help accelerate your growth. At some point, you will hit a break-even point for your business. Either you'll do it naturally on your own, you'll do it with seed capital, you'll do it with angel investment, and you'll sit there. That's right where that sort of line in the middle hits. At some point, you may decide to accelerate your growth by going through acquisitions, mergers, strategic alliances, bringing in VCs or private equity. You'll go through a series of financing rounds to do that, first, second, third, and so forth. And eventually, those investors may be looking for a way out, and the easiest way to do that is out through the public market. In that line, we're taking a look at how the importance of secondary offerings. That's the orange line is there. So, Joe, next slide. Why do we care on this? I hear all the time talking to solution providers who start getting very emotionally connected to these mergers and acquisitions. Right. And from my perspective, I say, you don't have to. That's not at all what matters. There's two factors that we want to worry about when we're thinking about analyzing the companies. The first is we look at who the leadership is to understand where their thinking is and their past history. But more importantly, we follow the money. We understand who those leaders are and how they're backed financially. Once we understand that, we can make very predictable determinations. So I've got a slide for that. Joe, next slide. I've put some of our favorite RMM companies in through my analysis of where they are. And what you can actually do is you can understand where they are. You can look at a company, some of the early emerging companies, and understand that they're moving through the early rounds. They're going to be focused on their primary products. Later stages are going to be looking to move into building new things. When I look at the ConnectWise Continuum merger, I can make a couple of simple statements to help you understand it. The first is this is a revenue roll-up. They're bringing it together to make the company bigger revenue-wise. They are also motivated to cross-sell. They are becoming more dependent on secondary offerings. That is not a good or a bad thing. It is simply an analysis of exactly where they're at. They are potentially moving toward the IP to a public market. We may go through another round or two of financing. That could be the way that they go from this perspective. Kaseya, Joe, you brought that up right at the top of the market. They're making noises to understand the perspective. They make an announcement about their valuation. Why? Because they're later stage. They're looking at the public market or potentially other exit strategy. That's why they do it. That's my analysis. I wanted to give you my lens of the way that I look at these things. I do this kind of analysis. Joe, next slide. On a daily podcast that Joe mentioned. It's called The Business of Tech. You can catch it at mspradio.com. Really encourage you. It's simple to consume, 5 minutes a day, couple of stories each day, and why you care. Just to give you a little bit of insight, it can be available on all your podcatchers so that you can get this kind of analysis. And Joe, I'm going to be available with you through today for this webinar, and we'll answer any questions that people are interested in.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, it's fascinating to me as we kind of move, these companies hope to move from left to right. I don't know how many are using, where he has their Synchro and Ninja, and of course that, and then SolarWinds is that IPO there. It's really, really cool information and a great way to kind of see it. Thanks so much, Dave.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it because you take the emotion out, you can be really analytical about how this is done. That's
right. Take the emotion out. Yeah. And I had a couple of questions here that I answered. I don't know if anybody can see all the answers or the questions. First question, Nathan asks is, how long is setup and onboarding integration? I mean, you go to CWDash.com, you click on try it, you complete the survey, you get the email within minutes. Generally, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to install. It connects to your ConnectWise, and you're up and running. The email has a link to my calendar. I would love to walk, with you, but there's plenty of videos up on CWDash.com, that guide you through it. But I would love to walk you through it a little bit. I'd be more than happy. It's one of the best parts of my day. As my calendar fills up, I get excited when I see I'm talking to MSPs. Then you also ask, how intrusive are the ads? The ads continually run. They just continually run on all the dashboards. They're there, and they would last a minute, and the next one comes on. How intrusive are they? We've never had an MSP complain these ads are too intrusive. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's the truth of that. And remember, the sponsors are paying for it. Thanks so much, Dave. And it brings us to our next poll. After seeing what Dave had shown in that slide and everything, does your opinion change of the acquisition of Continuum by ConnectWise? Is it still the same? Did it just kind of create a different view, or that lens help influence one particular way or another?
We're super curious. We want to hear. Does that change? Yeah.
We just thought as we were reviewing this, after showing that, would it influence if we asked the same question again? And we're getting similar answers.
Okay.
Most are the wait and see. See how.
It's a smart play. The products didn't change based on any of that. So at this point, wait and see is a smart set of advice.
Exactly right. And there's been so much acquisition. I mean, just, Veeam for $5 billion that just happened, $1 billion company being, acquired for, I'm sorry, was it 5? Was it?
I think it's 5. But
yeah,
as I noted on my podcast, the thing that I think is most interesting about that you bring it up, Joe, is that the leadership changed significantly.
Right.
There was complete moving from all the founders who were initially involved now to a US-based leadership team. So it's complete change on that perspective. Again, I would say the products haven't changed. Nothing has changed today, but we knew we have new leaders and new financial backing.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thanks everybody for your response. It looks to be the same. I put a couple slides here at the end. I'm here in the New Haven office, right between New York and Boston. If you ever wanted to have a meeting, even a face-to-face, I won't be in the Dallas or Denver office until May. I should be at RSA in February. I'm not sure how many are going there. I'll actually be at ConnectWise next week in Tampa. I meet with them generally once a quarter. If you wanted to get together, some odds and ends. We're just about to release our new version. Here's what it looks like. I mean, we're on pre-release now. We're no longer on beta. It could be as early as next week. This is what it looks like. If anybody, I can actually walk you through it a little bit if you'd like. But this is what the newest version 10, will be out very, very soon. And if you get the current version now, you'll just click on update, one of the options, and it'll just give you the update right here. But a lot of 3D animation, a lot of geo. The widgets are here on the right side now. 3D. We're really excited about this release, and it's got great feedback from all our great beta testers, and we're looking forward to that. We're very excited about it here. Last poll. And I'll end this, and a lot of you don't use it right now, but I guess what you do know of it, would you recommend? If you see our model, you see we're born out of MSPs, and would you recommend it to a colleague? You ask, what's the downside? What's there to lose? And if you don't like it, stop using it. We definitely don't want that, but there's really nothing to lose. Everybody is answering yes. And 3 takeaways, 3 differentiators. CWDash makes your MSP more efficient, certainly more profitable, real-time dashboarding in ConnectWise. It's free with sponsorship, very light Windows app. It's only a single exe file, doesn't install a local database. It's very light. Never had an issue with anyone complaining about performance. And of course, privacy does not take any of your ConnectWise managed data. Some call to actions, take a look at it, dive deeper. any questions at all. If you want to be on the beta, by the way, if you want the beta, the pre-release, I should say, email us, CWDash. We'll get it right over to you if you want to take a look. Anything else you'd like to see? If you want to install on multiple workstations, you don't have to download it again. Just get that little license key that you get in the email and just install it install it all over your site, and take a look. Celeste, I have any questions? Dave and I are here. Take a look at MSP Radio. I mean, I listen to Dave every day, 5 minutes a day, 2 or 3 topics. It's incredible. And the big deal is, why do we care about it? It's yesterday was great about that, about the Microsoft government deal there, and it's excellent. Dave is a fountain of knowledge, and really enjoy that.
Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. It's been it's super fun to take all this experience and make it work for solution providers. So I love doing it, and I love the conversation I'm having with people about it and how we're changing the tone of coverage. We don't have to sit through yet another bit of vendor-driven content. We can actually do it from the solution provider perspective.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Very good. If there's any questions, Dave and I will be around. What is the cost of premium CWDash? Great question, Nathan. It's currently $3.99 a month for the entire site. That's without the ads. We generally don't really talk about that because you're welcome. He said thanks. How much is Cloud Data Access, formerly Cloud Connect? Derek, thanks. Great question. So I've heard some MSPs say free, included with service. I've heard some MSPs say $29 a month. I'm not quite sure what's happening at ConnectWise with the product. A lot of MSPs use it. Even before, it was a necessity for us just to do reporting and to do backup of their own data. So it's kind of a wide range. You'll notice that it's not even published on their products page. Sometimes your account manager, whatever they're called now, I don't remember, might not even know about it, and they've got to escalate it or, go to their management. So I'm afraid for the ambiguous answer, but I have seen a wide variety of prices for the product. Is there a limit? Is there a user limit two-factor security? There is no user limit. As far as security, it gets set up in the setup. When you install the setup, it gets set up once, and that's it. But there's no user limit at all. Let me answer that question. No user limit. Any other questions? Is this webinar recorded? It is. We'll put it up soon. We'll just do some quick edits. And then, yeah, it'll be up soon. Please take a look at that. Yes, it'll be up. Nathan, thank you. Any other questions? Thanks, everybody, for your time. We said it would be 45 minutes. We're now at minute 40. Hopefully, it didn't... it was worth your while and didn't take too much of your lunch. Any questions for Dave at all? I'm typing out Derek's question on the cost of Cloud Connect. I have seen 0 to, yeah, $29 a month. Any other questions? Thanks, everybody, for your time today. Well, I said it would be lunch. I guess that's only if you're East Coast, right? Am I doing an East Coast bias, Dave? I hope not.
Or either that, or they're just starting to think about it on the West Coast.
Right. Or they just had their coffee. They're in California, and they're about mid-morning. Thanks, everyone, for your time today. I see some of you are still on. I'll hang on for, Dave and I hang on for a couple of more minutes. Have any questions, you let us know. Thanks so much for your time. I hope it was worth it. I think when we have this next month, we'll have our new version up, and it'll be exciting. People are dropping off now. And we are at minute 42, and almost everyone is off. Oh, there's 2 more questions. How do I get the software? Was the question. And the question is, go to www.CWDash.com. And click try it. Abed, please take a look. I encourage you to take a look. Any other open questions? I never got the email for the trial. Please check your junk mail. You should have it soon. I noticed there was a bunch that downloaded here while we were talking. There's been 7 or 8. So just give it a few moments. You should get it shortly. You should get it shortly. Oh, you did it last week, Abed. Oh, okay. You never got it from last week. Let me take this offline. Can you send me your email, and we'll do a little search and find out where it is, Abed? I'll send it to sales@cwdash.com, and we'll look at it right away. Well, that's no good. Filled out a week ago and you didn't get it. Seldom hear that. Okay, will do. Thank you very much. Well, thank you everybody for your time today. Really enjoyed this. Thanks. I hope it was well worth it. Dave, thank you. Really appreciate your time today. And I know we're going to be talking a little bit later today.
Thanks for having me. This has been great fun. And if anyone needs to reach me, find me at mspradio.com.
Fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. Cheers.